introduction. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
You forgot to take the trash out. Again. Why don't you just sit there and relax? I'll take the rest of the boxes out. Verbal criticism. How many of us have been the subject of verbal criticism before? Hopefully it's not an everyday occurrence. As a matter of fact, typically direct verbal criticism only happens occasionally. Now, depending on your work situation or home situation, that may not be the case. But in any event, it's a traumatic thing. We feel attacked. It's tough. And because of that, we don't always handle it like we should. And there, as in any situation, is a right way and a wrong way to handle verbal criticism. So let's talk about some of the wrong ways. For one, try this. You have no idea what you're talking about.
William Porterfield, when you grow up and you're a mom, you'll feel like I do. I cannot believe you are so disrespectful.
We're not to the part yet.
Okay. I'm enjoying this.
Withdrawing. Walking away from the situation. Turning your back on it. Now, the positive in that is that you don't escalate the situation. It stops right there. But at the same time, you lose self-esteem and you lose self-respect because you did not address the situation directly. Also, there's rationalizing. How about this? You forgot to take the trash out again. Yeah, there's been so much on my mind, and I was busy feeding the dog and doing these other things. I just totally forgot. The problem with that is that by the time you finish rationalizing why you didn't do the thing, your opponent, the other party, the criticizer, typically has time to shoot holes in your rationalization, and then it just escalates the situation. But the third, and the worst probably, is the counterattack. It is, you forgot to take the trash out again. Yeah, well, last week you forgot to feed the dog, and last week you forgot to wash the dishes, and the counterattack makes you feel better, but it escalates the situation tremendously, and it avoids the real issue at hand. So how do you respond appropriately to verbal criticism? You respond non-defensively. In a non-defensive response, you listen to what the other person is saying, you address the real issues at hand, and you de-escalate the situation. So how do we listen how do we respond non-defensively? First, we listen. Typically, when we're verbally criticized, we take the criticism at face value. What they said is what they meant. But isn't it amazing that when you start listening to what they're saying, that's not what they meant at all. It's typically some underlying issue that they have a problem with. Number two, acknowledge what they say. Now, you have to be very, very careful here to be sincere. Let no form of sarcasm enter your voice at this point. For instance, when you say, so what I'm hearing is that you're angry with me because I did not take out the trash. That's sarcasm, and you will escalate the situation pretty fast. But if you are very sincere about it and let them know that you're really trying to acknowledge that they have feelings and that you hurt them by not taking out the trash, then that can really help the situation. Now, just because you acknowledge their feelings does not make them correct. So you're not admitting your guilt at this point. Thirdly, ask questions. When the spouse says, you forgot, or the mother or whoever says you forgot to take out the trash, you always forget to take out the trash. You always forget things. You may realize at that point that it's not just about the trash, and you may follow up with a question such as, it sounds like there are some other things I've forgotten. What else have I forgotten that's hurt your feelings? So at that point you ask questions, you dig deeper into what's behind the situation so you can address it. And finally, next to finally, you paraphrase. And this is another one that if you are sarcastic can get you in trouble, but paraphrase the situation. This gives the other person an opportunity to correct some misunderstandings that have taken place. So in this situation I would say, so what I'm hearing you say is that I upset you because I forget to take out the trash, and I forgot to feed the dog yesterday, and also I forgot to close the garage door last night, and so I need to really start trying to remember these things that are important. Paraphrasing. And then finally, do not ignore the truth. If there is some criticism that is truthful in there, acknowledge it. Acknowledge the fact that criticism is true. But just because you acknowledge the criticism does not mean you have to accept the conclusion. For instance, in this situation, the mother may say, it's obvious that you do not care about the family because you always forget these things. You could say, not yet though. I did forget to do all these things, but I absolutely do care about this family. I'm going to do better. At this point, we will use some of these strategies to try to role play with none other than, guess who? Belva! Belva. Okay, Belva, you're my mother. I forgot to take out the trash. Don't you verbally criticize me.
What have you been doing so that I asked you one simple task to take out the trash? What could be more important than just doing that one little thing? You live here free. We give you money. Why can't you take out the trash?
Mom, I hear if I hear what you're saying, you're upset because I forgot to take out the trash. Is that right?
Yeah. Obviously, you don't care about the family, or you would just do a few chores.
Okay. So you said a few chores. Now it sounds like it's more than just the trash. What else? What else have I been doing?
I want you to make your bed every day. I want you to be home by midnight. I want you to take out the trash and be responsible like we've taught you.
Okay. All right. So Mom, if I'm hearing you correctly, some of the things you want me to do in being more responsible would be to take out the trash, be home at midnight. What else was it? Make the bed.
Make the bed
Right.
and keep the room straight.
Okay. Okay. Well, I agree with you, Mom. I have not been fulfilling my responsibilities as a son, as a part of this family, and I have not been making my bed regularly. I've been staying out too late. And I obviously did forget to take out the trash. I do apologize, but I want you to know that does not mean I do not care about this family. And I will do my best from this day forward to do those things which it's obvious they're important to you.
Son, I'm going to give you one more chance.
Thank you. Thank you, Mother. Thank you both. We're not done, Belva. As you can see, in this situation, at first I was just quiet. I did not immediately respond to her criticism. I listened. I acknowledged what she was saying. I asked her questions, follow-up questions. I paraphrased what she was saying, and I agreed with the truthful parts and then tried to de-escalate the situation. Now, some more tips. Remain calm. A non-defensive response means you must keep calm and serene as you're being criticized. Don't take it personally. Sometimes the other party is incredibly angry at that moment. As they keep talking, they will calm down. Don't take what they're saying personally. A lot of times they're just really, really hurt. Use nonverbal listening skills. Do not be sarcastic in this when you're saying, okay, yes. Nods, little murmur that you understand. Eye contact is all important to use nonverbal listening skills. And show some respect for the other person. Even if the person is being disrespectful for you, it does no good to be disrespectful to them. Show some respect and you'll end up on the winning end of the deal. So, in conclusion, are there any comments or suggestions on the way that interaction could have been handled more effectively? Anyone? Okay. Well, I think we might have finally successfully had a role play out of this manual. Thank you for your time, and just remember, respond non-defensively. Everyone. Listen, acknowledge, ask questions, paraphrase, and acknowledge the truth. It's just a matter of Toastmasters.